Hey everyone, welcome back to Google Workspace Recap, where we review everything new to Workspace every week. My name is Jesse Nolan, my co-host is Steve Larson, and we are here to help you keep up. Google Drive is having a potentially major issue right now that we have to talk about. There are articles from several major publications talking about this, and the situation is still being investigated. Essentially, many users are complaining, both on Reddit and in a now shut down Google Drive support forum, that their drives have reverted back to May of this year and are showing zero activity since then. There was, as I mentioned, a long Drive forum support thread that has since been locked and removed, and posted in its place a new document with just the support comment. We're also seeing some sync issues on Macs, such as Finder showing that Drive needs to be running to sync. However, Drive is in fact running. And on my wife's Intel-based Mac, in Finder, folders that are in Drive, when you add new files to the folder, they don't have the ability to right-click.
Intel-based Mac, you got to upgrade her. Come on.
I'm about to order her a new studio. We were talking about that this morning. But the files that are added to a Drive folder in Finder are not showing up as syncing, and are not in fact syncing, despite the fact that the app, which is fully updated, is showing that all files are synced and up to date. The support article that we have for this is entitled Drive for Desktop version 84.000 through 84.0.4.0 sync issue. They state, we're investigating reports of an issue impacting a limited subset of Drive for Desktop users, and we'll follow up with more updates. In the meantime, and now this is critical, if you are affected by this issue, do not click disconnect account. Do not do that within Drive for Desktop.
How do you communicate to all your end users? Like, you have, like, this is going to be majorly problematic.
You have to get out the comms, get out the comms rule book and get on the phone or whatever you have to do and get this out there. Do not disconnect your account. Number one. Number two, do not delete or move the app data folder. On Windows, this is in user profile, app data, local, Google, Drive, FS.
That's okay. That's most people should not.
Probably people are not going to do that. On Mac, it's library / application support, Google, and Drive, FS. Right.
Yeah, the first
Optional here that they do mention is if you have the space or extra hard drives or whatnot, you can make a copy of the app data folder that is in those locations that I just mentioned. And of course, we'll have this in the show notes, and I'll throw it up on the screen.
It's almost like
here,
saying, hey, there's a problem. And if you don't take a backup of your endpoints, like, it's going to be a problem. It's like, you should have backups of your endpoints. That's what they're basically saying right there.
Yep. So, this highlights a major flaw or possible issue or possible liability issue when using what is called shared responsibility. Here is Google Drive is in the cloud. It's partially Google's responsibility, and it's Google. And as I was discussing with some other admins about this, in Google we trust. Maybe a little bit too much sometimes. And the fact here is, it's expensive to back up. But in this case, this would be the time in which, if there is a problem here, having that backup would really be critical. And so, if you've got those backups, whether you're using, Backupify or AFI.ai or several of the others that are out there, great. You should be good. That is, of course, assuming that the files themselves ever uploaded to Drive. So it really depends on what the core cause of this issue is. If the files themselves in Drive, file stream, etc., Google Drive for Desktop never actually synced to the cloud, none of those backup applications that are backing up from Google Drive are going to see it, because they're using APIs to pull those files out of Drive and to back them up into their external storage, wherever that it may be, whether it's Google Cloud or AWS, etc. If you are backing things up to a local drive and then backing that up to elsewhere, you're definitely in good shape there, and that is obviously the best way to do it. Of course, the more complexity you add to it, the more things it can break, and also the less it's likely to be used, because the best thing is that it just works, which is why we want to operate in this environment of, just everything Google Drive. And quite personally, I don't really use Drive file stream. I use it just to make sure that my downloads and my documents and my desktop are backed up to Google Drive, but I use the web interface, drive.google.com, for everything. Exactly. If I'm ever in anything, I'm looking for anything, I'm not doing it. But a lot of people do, including my wife, including a lot of others. And this is a potentially major issue. And honestly, it's a scary one, because there's not a lot of communications from Google. We don't really know what's happening here. We don't know how bad it is. It's limited now at this point, but there were hundreds of people on the support thread that is now gone who were saying, me too, I also have this issue. There's 30 individual comments on Reddit, and this was 9 days ago that this started. And all of those have people replying at length talking about this issue. So yeah, it's a limited audience in terms of the millions of people who possibly use this, but that doesn't mean that it's all that small in scale or scope. And this is very much developing. It's possible that there's going to be more information by the time this video comes out. If there is an article with the resolution, I will drop it in the show notes. I'm going to try and get this video out today, maximum tomorrow. Today is Tuesday. Tomorrow will be Wednesday, November 29th. And apologies for last week's video being so late. Weekend from hell, whole family was sick, etc. It was terrible. So that video didn't go out until Sunday or Saturday night, I think, at midnight. So that happened. And the podcast side did as well. Hopefully we're not going to repeat that this week. All except for one of my children are better now. And it's just a viral thing that just goes, it's hanging on and everybody's got it. So anyway, I'd like to address the green elephant in the room. Steve has the Casey Neistat School of Broadcasting look today with some green sunglasses over there. Steve is like, what Drive issue? I'm not even thinking about Drive. He is off on the road on vacation at the beach.
Exactly.
How's it going?
Yeah, hanging out over here. Nice warm weather. Enjoying myself, but still here for the podcast every week.
Every week. So, keep it strong.
Yeah, always here. I'm gonna say, so yeah, a lot of news on the Drive issue. I think I'm trying to post some of the links here about the Verge article, Mac Admins Reddit, all that stuff.
Yeah, a lot of those.
And yeah, but it's just interesting though that that initial post where there was so many comments just been removed. Like why?
I imagine those might have been personal data, but I didn't. Oh, you're saying that all of them were removed? Yeah.
Well, yeah, you can't see the comments anymore. Yeah, and then the new article has comments off. Like you can't comment.
It's locked. Yeah.
Like why?
And it's not that they locked. It's not that they locked the previous one and made all of the comments invisible. No. This is a completely new link. Because anybody who's going to the link that's in all of the articles that are about it says that it's it's a 404 basically. Some serious serious things going on behind the scenes. Raise a glass to the team at Google that is probably running around working on this.
119 pulled back too. Like there's a lot of issues
Chrome OS 119 right now. Yeah. Well, we've been having issues with the Drive desktop app for several months here, various issues at different times. So I don't really know what's going on there. Hopefully this will be a wake-up call that somebody needs to be a little bit more on top of focusing on bug fixes or testing or something. Like I don't know what's going on there. But yeah, this is crazy.
I don't know if you've noticed. So my Drive for Desktop app on the Chromebook, not Chromebook, the MacBook Pro that I have has basically like how the image in the top right, your Mac is either more like dark or light, depending if it's like offline or online.
Maybe
my Drive for Desktop has been very it's been like the gray and like it looks like it's offline. Does it not look like that for you? And I can't exit Drive for Desktop.
Interesting.
So if I try to go,
what happens if you reboot?
Preferences. Well, I don't know. I can't reboot right now and test it.
Obviously. So I actually realized when I saw the news breaking about this that
I can't exit. I'm on version 83 and I have not been able to exit my Drive for Desktop app for quite some time. Daddy. Yeah, I can't end the app. So I don't know what's happening.
10 seconds later.
Yes, that was my daughter just peeking into the studio here. Daddy, look at my new shoes.
Nice.
Sorry about that, folks. What was I going to say? That I realized when I started following this issue, I saw it cropping up that I got my new MacBook Pro and I actually forgot to install Drive for Desktop. So I can't even check if I am seeing any of these issues or what color the icon is or any of that jazz. Yeah. Oh, whoops. Yeah. And now I'm afraid to install it, to be honest. I'm going to wait until this blows over before I install that because
yeah. But yeah, honestly, so if it's a version 84 issue, I'm on 83. So should I turn it off from startup? That's probably a good thing. Turn it off from the startup menu.
There you go. Maybe pause syncing as well. I don't know. I honestly don't know what to advise in this case other than don't do the things they said don't do. because it could be anything. Like, you know.
Yeah, actually, I mean, my settings right now, I can't even pause syncing. Like when I say pause syncing, it still says pause syncing, not resume syncing. So my app is completely
You're hosed
for some reason. Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's going to affect like personal users too. That's going to be problematic for them. So, if you're an enterprise company, like, okay, you're lucky you have the APIs, you can like revert some things with Drive and things like that. But as an end user with a personal account, like you can't just go and restore, 5,000 files or something all at once if you had to.
Well, that's the thing here is like,
crazy.
Is it just a display issue? Is it the fact that something is not loading somewhere? Is it something got rerouted somewhere? Like, is it that the problem is actually just in the app? Like, why weren't these things uploading? Did syncing stop and they're all actually on the computers, which is why they're saying don't get rid of the app data?
Like, how do you not like test?
How does nobody notice for 6 months? They're saying it's turned back to May. Theoretically, could also mean that they just didn't see that it wasn't actually syncing since May, but that also doesn't make much sense because it's so many people, and how do you not notice?
There were issues in like 2 versions ago, I think it was around 2 or 3 versions ago, where certain files were being, deleted essentially from certain
that was a separate issue,
right. Oh, but I think it's linked.
It could be, yes. That is something that we were considering. Is it's possible. And one thing that other people are saying is, Google is starting to do the accounts that haven't been used in many years a shutdown. So they're getting rid of and cleaning up a lot of those accounts. And it's like, well, no, I don't think that's connected to this.
No, that's not connected. No. If anything, it's connected to the previous issue we had like a few months ago. Anything.
Yeah, or it's something entirely new.
But ultimately, Google just does not do desktop applications well. They don't. They just don't.
Not their strength.
Don't keep up. If you look at all the enterprise applications Google has, GCDS, GCPW, they don't update them. They really don't. Like they've got them working. Like they kind of do their main thing, and we don't see updates on them. Like that's it. They're kind of stable and they're consistent. And they just kind of work, right? And it just doesn't. They do not do desktop applications very well. Like say, stick to the browser, stick to the web, and you'll be all right.
I'm reading through some of the Reddit comments here, and they're also bringing up like, how did you not notice for 6 months? And they're like, well, I had it set to stream files and not mirror files, and this and that, and it's like, I don't know. Is it possible that all these people just with the new, when did the new UI roll out that it was that, no, because streaming and mirroring has always been a feature. So I don't know. It's been a very long time.
Yeah. All right. Well,
crazy.
Let's jump into the updates. I know we have a limited amount of time here for you on your side. So we will talk about the updates we have this week, which it's a number amount of updates. 6 during the week, and then 4 at the end of week recap post. So we will go through those here. So first one is that we have enhancing Google Drive usability on large screen Android devices. That is, if it works. But also expanding Google Drive log events to additional Google Workspace editions. Easily convert hyperlinked text to smart chips using the tab key in Google Sheets. And then finally, some more languages available for the Google Meet captions. So those are all of our silent releases we had at the end of week recap post. In terms of our main releases we had, there are 6 of those. And first one is that you can now take action on Google Drive requests and comment directly in Google Chat. We talked about this, didn't we? Like this is, we did talk about this, didn't we?
We did talk about this. Why is it in there?
Am I getting this? Yeah, wait. Oh, wait a minute. Am I looking at the wrong week?
No, I'm on the same one too. Let me check the blog. I'm looking at the blog here.
App Sheets, Smart Chips, and Google Docs. Did we get this wrong?
Yeah, that shouldn't be in there.
The wrong week.
No, I think it maybe something glitched. Should be enhancing Google Drive usability on large screen Android devices, and then expanding Drive log events to additional Workspace editions. And then no, the blog also says easily convert hyperlink text to smart chips using the tab key in Google Sheets. Yeah. And more languages available for Google Meet captions. Those were in last week's.
Wait, this is all last week's stuff. Did I get the wrong episode here?
No. Did we not get a release notes?
You're in 11/17.
Right? I am in 47. Hold on. Look at the calendar.
Minute.
We didn't get a recap post.
No. Wait a minute, that's why. I basically went off.
How did we both miss
That's what
that?
happened. Do you know that I basically so I got the RSS feed, right? I clicked
Yeah, no,
the
how did we not
last
notice?
week's recap.
That's
I just
funny.
you just start copy and pasting and
Okay,
all
so
right.
cancel all that, folks.
Well,
0 silent releases
give
because there
me
was no recap
give me a
post.
moment here.
Maybe I'll cut and let's
Yeah,
pick up in a second here while Steve
we might have
edits.
to do this. Yeah,
Well, I'll go through the news articles. How about that? While
do
you
that.
talk about that, I'll say the news articles that are there.
Sweet.
So, in the news,
Talk about the
obviously,
news.
is the Google Drive
Talk
issue
about
that
the
we were
news.
just talking about for the last 15 minutes here. It is on Reddit. It's on Mac Admins. There's a Verge article. There's 9 to 5 article. There's like everybody, Chroma Box. Actually, I don't know if I saw one from them yet. Everybody's talking about it, and it's obviously a huge issue. Also in the news is Google has taken over the Sphere in Las Vegas twice so far. Last week and this week. And if you don't know what the Sphere is, Google it. It's this monstrosity of a venue where the entire outside is LED panels.
Wait, you don't like it? Monstrosity? You
I said
like
monstrosity. It's meaning massive, not, eyesore. I love it. I think it's fantastic.
No, that's like a negative.
Oh, is it?
That's a negative thing.
Okay, enormous,
all right.
huge, gigantic,
Well, yeah.
phenomenal. How about that?
Yeah. Better.
And then we've got a event in 2 days, depending on when I get this episode out. It's on November 30th. Is Duet AI for Google Workspace, and that's a event live on YouTube. So definitely can check that out. We'll talk about more of that in a bit. And Chrome OS 119 has been pulled, as we briefly mentioned before. So a little bit more information on that. The article headline here from Chroma Box is "Something is really wrong with Chrome OS 119." So those are some news articles that we have for you, and the articles of the week. Apparently, I mean the updates of the week are fewer than we thought they would be. So maybe we'll get a shorter show.
Fewer. Yes. So we only have.
What is that, 4?
Yes.
Three?
Three of them. Three. So that kind of works out, I guess. If it's this week. So when did these come out? These came out.
Oh yeah, 3 this week.
I mean the 20th, 21st.
Yeah, 3 this week.
You know what? I'll include the one that came out today too. The shareable video presentation of Google Slides. So we'll give you a bonus update here this week. You give us 3. Yeah, so that's what threw us off. So it's like you have this repetition you do every single week for 3 years, right? You look at the RSS feed, you're like Workspace Recap post, go down to the last one, copy paste, and you jump into the episode, and that's kind of what we do.
Yep. And I usually have the updates
So
open on my screen, and I took one look at them. I was like, wait a minute, what is he talking about?
Yep. I know, yeah. This sounds so familiar. I'm like, this is very familiar updates. But no, all right. So the 3 updates we have, only 3, is that we have updates for managing iOS devices. User enrollment is now supported. So you can purchase and distribute apps using the Apple Volume Purchase Program. So interesting thing about iOS devices and also Chrome is that there was a post over at Mac Admins, our good friend Alex Bauer. He talked about a new update coming in Chrome version 120 for iOS, is that Chrome user policies are rolling out to iOS on a gradual rollout. So lots of fun stuff happening there. We will talk about that a little bit later. I think we'll add that into maybe the last update here. So we'll talk a little bit more about that in a bit. Next one is that you can now raise your hand with gesture detection in Google Meet. That is something that I thought we had talked about some of that before, about gestures with Meet and being able to do that. That might have been a beta release or like a roadmap item that I think we might have seen. But that is now coming out. And then finally, you can create shareable video presentations in Google Slides. There was someone was asking recently that they're asking, can you record like an audio snippet and put it in the presentation? Because that's available in the Microsoft version of Slides. Not sure if that's available in Slides itself, but something to do. All right. And then, you talked about all the other news updates. We will get to those after the updates. So first major thing that we had was that you can now manage iOS devices here. So rolling out expanding mobile device enrollment options for iOS devices to include user enrollment. This user enrollment separates work and personal data on iOS devices. I feel like this is exactly what Alex was probably talking about. It sounds very similar to what was being talked about there in the Mac admins posts. Maybe a little bit different here. But also admins can use the VPP program to purchase and distribute apps in bulk to user-enrolled iOS devices in their org. So, one of the cool things here, if you are iOS Chrome users. So as an admin here, make sure you enroll in VPP and get access to that to deploy those applications as needed. So a lot of good information here on how to do that, how to set that up, to get enrolled without the tokens there. And once you have that and your end users are enabled, you can start to push those applications out to them. In terms of rollout pace for this, this started the 20th of November. This is going to be on a rapid release. It's going to release rollout for the 1 to 3 day visibility for that. And it's going to be available to a select amount of users, just those on Enterprise Plus, Enterprise Standard, Enterprise Essentials, Enterprise Essentials Plus, Frontline Standard, Frontline Starter, Business Plus, Cloud Native Premium, Education Standard, Education Plus, and nonprofit customers. So one of the most unique, I think, features that I've seen in a while. Looking at that rollout group there, that is what's coming. And then next, another Meet update where you can start to use gestures, and Google recognize that you have a question, raise your hand, and then that will trigger that typically manually initiated action that you would have had to have done before, but that will let people know that you have a question. So that pretty cool about that. Nice to see that being
I've already used it. I have it. Yeah, it takes about as long as it shows in the GIF there. Yeah, there you put your hand up, and you do have to make sure that your face is solidly visible for this to work correctly. But it does work. It would. I don't know if there's a way to, and we can look at the update here, to take your hand down when you're done with your question, or somebody calls on you or whatnot. But it's pretty cool. I want it to work a little bit faster, but I imagine that in testing they probably had a lot of false positives of people just putting their hand up or things like that.
Right. Yeah,
exactly.
Going like that.
But it's cool. But of course, anybody with a Mac on the call then started doing the cool Mac backgrounds that show up when you do a thumbs up or a metal hand or things like that now happen with the new what is it, Sonoma? I think those started with here, where you can have your camera feed show like lasers in the background or raining or sunny or things like that. So yeah, fun things to do with your camera to make meetings less boring, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, so the feature is off by default, which I think is a good thing. So it's not going to just start working for users. They will have to actively enable this, and users will have to know this feature is available. So if they want to enable it, head over to more options, reactions, and raise hand gesture or hand raise gesture feature and enable that. And then you'll be able to leverage that gesture during a meeting. So, pretty cool. This did roll out differently to rep release and scheduled release domains. That started the 21st of November for rep release domains on a quick 1 to 3 day rollout for that. And then scheduled release domains, we'll see that coming today, actually, 20th of November. That's going to be on a gradual rollout up to 15 days for visibility on that one. And this is only available to select SKUs, Business Plus, Business Standard, Enterprise Essentials, Enterprise Plus. Yeah, I guess all those other similar kind of SKUs. So not available to Business Standard or Business Starter. I think that's what it looks like here, not Business Starter. All the other Enterprise SKUs, Business ones, as well as Education Plus, digital upgrade customers, and Google Workspace individual subscribers as well get access to that one. And then finally, you can start to create shareable video presentations in Google Slides. So going to be introducing slides recordings. It's a new Google Slide feature where you'll be able to very easily record yourself presenting, and then share the presentation with others to view them when it works for them. So think of this as a Cameo, I guess, right? Is that the right thing?
Yeah, there's
Cameo?
a bunch of different options out there for this.
Is that
Cameo,
right?
Cameo is one of them.
Right. This is like teaching and learning kind of use case. So very easy to present and then record. And then share
this is awesome. I would love to see more people using this and
cool.
just
Cool.
It doesn't even necessarily have to be in slides. Like I'd love to be able to see just in all the editors so that somebody could do a walkthrough of their doc or things like that. Google had do you remember the experiment that they did? It was one of the Area 120 things where it was their video. You record a video and then send a message of, with that video. I wonder if this is that reskinned. Because they closed that team, but then they move people. They move people away from that. But this looks very similar to kind of the look and feel of that. Threaded, that's what it was, right? Obviously, not with the threaded back and forth conversation about it, but just being able to quickly record. No. I am curious, however, what quality it's going to be recording in. Is it based on your screen resolution? Is it 1080? Is it 720? Is it Google Meet recording it actually? How long will it take for it to process? Is it like an hour long Meet? What do you call it? Meet recording that then takes another hour to render and be dropped into your drive before you can share it? Like, I have a lot of questions about this one, but I do like seeing this direction and, this continued focus on, there's a lot of people that are still working remotely, and this is a really great way, especially for remote or async people, to convey information across quickly and easily.
Nice. Well, that feature is going to be rolling out to wrap release domains starting the 28th of November today. A gradual rollout up to 15 days for visibility on that. And then scheduled release domains won't see that till next year, so I have to wait a little bit longer. That will start on the 2nd of January, also on a 15-day gradual rollout for visibility, and only available to Business Standard, Business Plus, Enterprise Starter, Enterprise Essentials, Enterprise Plus, Enterprise Standard, and Enterprise. Wait, it's twice here. It's interesting. If you actually look at this, it says Enterprise Plus twice at the end.
That's funny. It's
Enterprise Plus and Education Plus. Oh wait, there we go. Sorry, Enterprise Plus and Education Plus. Sorry, I just can't read today.
I was going to say it's a new SKU, Enterprise Plus Plus.
Yeah. Enterprise Essentials Plus. Yeah. All right. Well, those are your updates for the week. Jesse, you have a look at things.
Two things that I wanted to mention about the drive issue that I forgot to bring up before. Apparently, there was some language sent out to partners that were talking about this, and in the admin panel, you are going to be able to download a CSV of the affected users if you have any who are in your organization who are affected by this. So it looks like they're already making progress and have ways to detect that this is a problem, and you can start addressing that with those people. It says here, following a recent update to Drive for Desktop version 84, which began rolling out November 13th, a limited subset of users have reported issues in which it may appear as some files have been reverted. These users may have seen notifications saying something went wrong, Drive for Desktop stopped running, and try restarting the application, which is all things that we talked about here. So it's interesting.
Like a limited subset of users to
Google, that could be 8 million people, exactly.
Billions of people, right? It's like, we have 1.5 billion people. Limited subset, like 10%. That's 185 million people.
That's a lot of freaking people. Exactly. People. Well, that's what happens when you're at scale.
Yeah. It's like, it's limited. It's not happening to everyone, but it's happening to 100 million people. Like, it's a fucking lot of people.
Yeah. So,
I feel like they should like disclose a percentage of users. Like, it's happening to 2%.
I've seen that with some of the other things, so it's possible, maybe.
Yeah.
All right. So that was sent out to partners. So if you're a partner, definitely go and take a look for that in your email. If you are not and you're an end user, keep an eye out for that to show up in the alert center in the admin console. I haven't been able to check. I haven't had time to check any of mine because I'm just seeing this information now. That was sent to me by other folks that know that we're recording the show and want to make sure that we've got the latest and greatest. So thank you to them. Not going to name any names because sometimes it's a little bit sensitive information, but we have our sources. And, just stay tuned, I guess, on that. It's entirely possible that by the time I have this episode released, that this will be resolved and everything will go back to normal. Hopefully, fingers crossed, because that's the best output. The best outcome here is that it's found and resolved. All right, the sphere picture on the screen here, big, huge dome in Las Vegas. And by big, huge, I mean it's a massive part of the skyline now in the classic Las Vegas hotel skyline. You take off from a plane, you fly over this sphere, and I have my pictures. Obviously, future me in editing include my pictures here of when I flew out of Vegas. They've got emojis on it. They've got globe views from space of the planet. You've got all kinds of really cool, interesting things that you can do with this, and it's actually very entertaining because they have emojis on there, but they're animated. So if you're at the golf course that's nearby, it's looking down at you while you're trying to take a shot, and it like raises its eyebrows at you and stuff. And imagine being in your hotel room window and opening your eyes in the morning and looking out and seeing that thing staring at you. So it's kind of scared the crap out of some people who weren't expecting it. And what they do from time to time, obviously, because everything's a business and has to make money, and this is a spectacle, is they sell advertising. And so Google has purchased advertising on here. They're one of the first companies to do so. They did it twice now. Last week during the Formula One races for Google Chrome, because Google Chrome is fast. Well, mostly, usually, sometimes, if you have a million gig of RAM. But there's also a Chrome Formula One car, I think. Maybe that's the SATA car. I don't remember, one or the other. I think Chrome does fund a Formula One car. But also this week, in a masterstroke of trolling, AWS's conference is in Las Vegas this week. And so Google Cloud has taken over advertising on the Sphere. And I'll show the pictures over here of the different folks that have taken videos of this.
Interesting.
Just poking fun, oh, hi, Amazon folks, look at Google Cloud. So some pretty fun things there.
Yeah,
and
nice.
I like it when marketing departments get goofy and bring things up like that. And it is, in fact, spoiler alert, there's a code on there that if you enter that code, thank you to Lucas Carlson, who spoke at Google Next as one of my fellow champion innovators, revealed that you can get a code for Google Next ticket for only $500 with the Unlock Sphere G-Cloud command. So if you don't have it, you can try G-Cloud Components Update first, and then it's $G-Cloud Unlock Sphere. So I'll include some links for that as well in the show notes. That is a nice discount right there. So go and check that out. What did we say last week? The pricing was $1,000 was already 50% off the $2,000. So now this is another $500 on top of that.
I think the general customer price was $2,000. Partner pricing, I think, remained at $1,500. There were some discounts,
but early bird, I think, is $1,000. So.
Yeah. Speaking of right. Yeah. I know we're talking about interesting marketing, campaigns and ploys. I don't know if you saw did you see the situation with the Stanley mugs, the cups? There was a woman that had a car, she had a Kia, and it caught on fire, right? And her Stanley mug was in the center console, and she created a video saying hey, my car burnt down. Here's the car burnt down.
No
my
way.
Stanley mug, it's still there with all the ice in it. With the ice was still in it. She shook it, and the ice was still
amazing.
It was still there. Yeah. So the CEO of Stanley came on to TikTok and said, hey, sorry that happened, this and that, and we'll probably never do this again. But what we want to do? We want to buy you a car.
Beautiful.
Car.
Amazing.
Yeah. So that was pretty great.
There was that reminds me of during the campfire in California that I responded with ITDRC with. Their Toyota responded to a post on Instagram showing a burned out Toyota pickup truck that he was basically helping to rescue people and doing a lot of relief efforts, driving in and out of the fire, and the whole side of it was singed and burned, and the tires were destroyed and whatever. And they bought him a new truck, same thing. So, or not same thing, but similar. So, I love it when brands respond that way. Yeah, they're aware, they listen, and they do some good stuff.
Great. I mean, it's just free marketing. It's you don't have to pay for it. Just post it, people pick up on that, and it's just
it's the best kind.
It's crazy. Those are some those are the genuine viral things. I used to work in viral video company, and it was all produced. It's all produced. It's just pushed out there. It's it's just paid advertising essentially, and most of the stuff is not actually legit viral stuff. But in some cases, it happens. My cat video that I had, which was supposed to be a paid content video, turned out to be actually viral because I posted it prior to us launching it, and it was for GoCat dog or cat food, right? And it was these little cats on DJ decks, pretending make the sound, and that was artificial. That was produced, right? but the video went viral. Like it was 2 million views on my YouTube
Nice.
channel. And that was completely, unplanned. But that was when G Plus launched.
Good times.
Posted it there. Mashable picked it up, and it went
Well,
viral.
if Mashable
Crazy.
picks it up, that's what happens.
It actually happened. So. Yeah, this was in 2007.
Well, that's when G
2008.
Plus
Like,
launched,
this was a
and
while
that's
ago.
when Mashable was still a massive daily,
Right.
regular.
Exactly.
I haven't read Mashable in a long time.
Yeah. If not, since 2008.
All right. Last update that we have here is, second to last update is that there's an event on YouTube on November 30th at 9 a.m. Duet AI for Google Workspace, generative AI tools to transform work for the better. Now, there hasn't been a whole lot of actual talk about what is really coming for Duet AI for Workspace. A lot of people are talking about what Duet AI is going to do in Google Cloud, but not a whole lot on the Workspace side. So I'm actually very interested in attending this and seeing if these guys are going to reveal anything new. I do already have it in some of my workspaces here, and I've been underwhelmed. Duet in Drive, basically I asked it to, it gives you a prompt to describe this file, and it generated an image that was totally and completely unrelated to the file. So I really, it's not ready for prime time, I guess. So interesting things coming hopefully in this event. Duet is obviously a massive thing that Google's working on, and I imagine it is going to get the kinks worked out in there, and it will get better very soon. So stay tuned on that. All right, the last update that we have here for real now is the Chrome Box article of something is really wrong with Chrome OS 119. It's been pulled from the update servers, and this was 9-10 days after it was originally rolled out. The Chrome Box team had posted an article outlining an issue that they were having with the new Chromebook Plus features randomly vanishing from the Lenovo Flex 5i Chromebook Plus. Possibly related to that, possibly not. There's not a lot of information on this right now, but not a single device in the Chrome OS family has version 119 available to them right now. So if your device did update to Chrome OS 119 and you're having some really funky issues, well, you might be experiencing the reason why they pulled it back. I do not see very much in the way of information here that what could have caused it, but I imagine that this is getting repaired now and will be rolling out at some point in the near future. It's always towards the end of the year when things get funky and things break, it seems. So hopefully the teams aren't all on vacation and they can come back and get these things worked out. All right, that's all for this week. Short and sweet. Send us your questions and comments on Twitter at Workspace Recap and on our website, workspacerecap.com. Hit the subscribe button wherever you're listening to us. Thumbs up if you're over on YouTube. Comments down below, etc. Have a great week. Happy holidays. We'll see you next time on Workspace Recap.